In February of 2021, Sony changed the name of the company from Sony ATV to Sony Music Publishing. But notice the language used in the press release. The company's formation in 1995 is described as a joint venture partnership. Jackson himself described as a business visionary. For years, that business deal was inaccurately reported. In fact, most of the negative stories reported about the singer were false. For example, in 1992, he told the world he had vitiligo. But his critics denied he had the skin condition, reporting he had bleached his skin because he wanted to be white. Once again, his critics in the media were wrong. He changed the landscape of the music business. He encouraged many artists, particularly Black artists, to start their own companies and know the importance of publishing rights and ownership.
Heard. So when Tommy was trying to sign me when I was 18, Michael was trying to sign me because that's he owned half of Sony ATV.
Yeah.
Like that's what was crazy. So you're talking about Babyface, Mariah, so much catalog that you can't even, I mean, I remember he used to tell me.
You gotta understand, Mike was one of the most powerful men in the music business, and then he owned 50% of Sony ATV,
The Beatles catalog.
which is Beatles just one of many catalogs that
That
he
is.
owns 50% of.
My previous video addressed the process of media agenda setting and framing. This video will be an unprecedented detailing of Michael Jackson's music publishing empire and financial success. His business accomplishments were manipulated. You will witness a true story of media agenda setting which took place over a period of decades. The ATV music catalog contains 250 songs by the Beatles. When it became available in 1985, Michael Jackson jumped at the chance to buy it. For many years, the media falsely reported his purchase of the catalog. They played up a rivalry by reporting that Jackson had outbid McCartney. Others felt Jackson was wrong for buying the catalog because they felt Paul McCartney should own it. In 1987, he allowed Nike to use the Beatles song Revolution in a television commercial. The reaction from the Beatles and their fans was a level of outrage. The remaining members of the Beatles sued Nike over the commercial. And although Jackson was left out of the suit, a heavy backlash against his ownership was beginning to surface. In 1995, he merged ATV with Sony's music publishing division, forming Sony ATV. Sony ATV went on to become the world's largest music publishing company. As the years went on, the company acquired the rights to more music, including hits by everyone from Bob Dylan to Eminem, from the Rolling Stones to Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, Beyonce Knowles, Kanye West, and many more. About half of the songs played on the radio every day are a part of the Sony ATV catalog. But despite the initial purchase of ATV in 1985 and the very lucrative merger in 95, the media did not give Jackson credit. The following are examples of how the media described the business deal. The New York Times wrote, in 1995, as he confronted financial woes, Mr. Jackson struck a deal to merge ATV with Sony's music publishing arm. Another mainstream news publication wrote, as Jackson faced debt in the mid-90s, he sold half of his music publishing company to Sony.
And he bought all your songs.
Yeah.
And you said to him, listen, I'll give you fair market value. Let me buy my songs. I want to own them. And he won't do it.
No.
And now that he has sort of
Scumbag.
he's sort of using them as leverage for his own financial problems. But I did read recently that because of some cash flow problems he's having, aren't your songs up for grabs?
In fact, this might be a good time.
Merging ATV with Sony caused the backlash against Michael Jackson to take form. Many were already resentful of him because he owned the Beatles' music, and now he would own more of the music business than any one person ever has. The backlash turned into a financial narrative where he would constantly be portrayed as going broke. Because at the center of those rumors, many were rooting for him to lose the catalog. In business, a joint venture occurs when two companies join. They combine resources to put themselves in a better position to take over the market. In late 2001, Jackson and Sony acquired Tony Martin's Baby May music catalog of 600 songs. In July 2002, they bought country music publisher Acuff and Rose for $157 million. The venture included publishing rights to 55,000 songs. This catalog gave Jackson ownership of some of country music's most classic songs. Some of the artists include Roy Orbison, Hank Williams Jr., and the Everly Brothers. In 2001, he released the album Invincible. It debuted at #1 in the US and 11 other countries. He also performed 2 sold-out concerts at New York's Madison Square Garden. In addition, he made $7.5 million for each show. At the same time, the media was reporting stories that Jackson was having financial trouble and would be forced to sell his music publishing. These rumors reached such a level that he released a statement in response. The singer said of his music publishing catalog, quote, "It is not for sale, has not been for sale, and will never be for sale," unquote. But the rumors did not stop. Despite what the King of Pop had to say about his own situation, the following are just a few examples of what the media focused on year after year. 2002, The Wall Street Journal. Mr. Jackson's financial situation worsens. 2003, LA Times. Michael Jackson near bankruptcy. 2004, Fox News. Jacko financial crisis. 2005, Fox News. Michael Jackson may be near bankruptcy. 2006, New York Times. What happened to the fortune Michael Jackson made? Also in 2006, LA Times. Indebted Jackson to sell part of his music publishing catalog. It should be noted that he never filed for bankruptcy and he never sold or lost any portion of his music publishing. Because it was mostly referred to as the Beatles' catalog, much of the public never knew the true scope of what Michael Jackson had accomplished in music publishing. But that catalog contains the rights to more than 2 million songs. For example, it also controls the rights to some of the most famous theme songs ever recorded. As you see, most of the public had no idea what his business empire really consisted of, because the Beatles' music was only 250 songs out of millions. In 2003, his interview with Martin Bashir was watched by 38 million viewers. Afterwards, Jackson said Bashir had betrayed him. During that interview, he went to his favorite store in Las Vegas, the Regis Gallery. For this shopping trip, the pop star received a lot of criticism and ridicule. He was always criticized for spending his own money. But what did he buy? He was buying very expensive fine art. The following is what the LA Times wrote about the wealthy clientele that shop at the Regis Gallery. Quote, buyers often acquire pieces with the expectation that they will increase in value, unquote. Research of Jackson's loans and major purchases shows he spent much of his money on purchasing assets that would increase in value the longer he owned them. This is often how the rich get richer, and how wise people build wealth by putting their money into investments that will maintain or increase their overall net worth. In 2005, the singer was charged and went to trial for child molestation. There was a total of 14 charges. It was the prosecution's theory that Jackson's career and finances were in such disarray that he became desperate. Therefore, he kidnapped a family, held the whole family hostage at Neverland, and molested the youngest child. Why would Michael Jackson kidnap a family? Beginning in 1995, rumors about his alleged money woes had become such a repeated cliche that the prosecution used those rumors as the motive. The outcome had him being found not guilty on all 14 charges by a conservative jury with no African Americans. The jury did not buy any aspect of the prosecution's case. This was a complete legal vindication for the king of pop. Yet being cleared of any criminal wrongdoing caused the media to go into high gear. After the trial, stories about an alleged financial collapse started to be reported on a monthly and sometimes weekly basis. On a rare occasion, the singer would respond. In a 2005 interview with Reverend Jesse Jackson, the Reverend asked, "Michael, are you broke?" Michael Jackson said, quote, "That's not true at all. It's just one of their many schemes to humiliate me and drag me through the mud. And it's the same pattern." He repeated, "It's the same pattern," unquote. Tom Mesereau is the attorney who was successful in having Jackson acquitted.
Because this was a very mean-spirited prosecution. They attacked everything about him, his sexuality, his finances, his music, his attire. They were willing to do anything. And I've got to tell you, I heard Dan, whose show I appeared on after the verdicts, and I appeared on not very many of them, but I did appear on his because he's always been very professional and honorable with me. But I heard him mention this idea of pornography. Well, he's correct. They found approximately 90 girly magazines in Michael Jackson's home. Playboy, Hustler, Penthouse. His fingerprints were on them. He had bought them. They never found any kiddie porn on computers or anywhere else. And I use that fact in my closing argument to explain why this guy is not a pedophile. So a lot of things that the media picked up and gave you a surface impression about were not at all what they were made to seem.
He was found not guilty by a California jury, but there was more to that trial than the public knew, because he had also been investigated by the FBI over a period of 10 years. The FBI released more than 300 pages detailing numerous investigations into the pop star's personal life. These investigations would begin based on a tip, a rumor, or the police asking for federal assistance. Each time, the FBI would find no evidence the pop star had committed a crime, and the matter would be closed.
.2600-acre Neverland Ranch in California to play in his amusement park, visit his zoo, watch movies, play video games, and feast on their favorite foods. Tell me why you developed Neverland.
Because I wanted to have a place that I could create everything that I never had as a child. So you see rides, you see animals, there's a movie theater. I was always on tour, traveling, you know, and I never got a chance to do those things. So I compensated for the loss. Right? I have a good time. I mean, I can't go into a park. I can't go to Disneyland as myself. I can't go out and walk down the street. There's crowds and bumper-to-bumper cars, and so I create my world behind my gates. Everything that I love is behind those gates. We have elephants and giraffes and crocodiles and every kind of tigers and lions, and we have busloads of kids who don't get to see those things. They come up, sick children, and enjoy it. They enjoy it. It's people with a dirty mind that think like that. I don't think that way. That's not me.
And do you think people look at you and think that way today?
If they have a sick mind, yeah. And if they believe the trash they read in newspapers, yeah. And it's not, just, remember something, just because it's in print doesn't mean it's the gospel. People write negative things because they feel that's what sells. Good news to them doesn't sell.
How did you feel when they went into Neverland? I mean, with a search warrant. I mean, what were they looking for? What did they take?
My room is a complete wreck. My workers told me, they said, Michael, don't go in your room. They were crying on the phone, my employees. They said, if you saw your room, you would cry. I have stairs that go up to my bed. And they said, you can't even get up the stairs. The room is totally trashed. And they had 80 policemen in this room, 80 policemen in one bedroom. That's really overdoing it. And they took knives and cut open my mattresses with knives. Just cut everything open.
Did they take anything from Neverland?
I'm not sure what they took. They never gave me a list.
But you're saying that they destroyed your property?
Yes, they did. And then what they did was they made everybody that worked at the property, they locked everybody out of the house. They had the whole house to themselves to do whatever they wanted. And they totally took advantage. They went into areas they weren't supposed to go into, like my office. They didn't have search warrants for those places. And they totally took advantage. And the room is a total wreck, they told me. And I don't think I want to see it. I'm not ready to see it yet.
So you haven't been back there?
I've been back there, but not in my bedroom. I won't live there ever again. I'll visit Neverland. It's a house now. It's not a home anymore. I'll only visit there.
After the trial, Michael Jackson left Neverland and spent the next couple of years traveling the world with his children. After leaving Neverland, he still owed $23 million on the property's mortgage loan. If money had been his main concern, he could have sold Neverland. As of 2008, the Santa Barbara County Assessor's Office gave the property a value of $96 million. But instead, he signed the deed over to a new company named Sycamore Valley Ranch. Sycamore Valley was a joint venture between Michael Jackson and the investment firm Colony Capital. In the deal, Colony paid off the mortgage for $23 million, and they paid Jackson $35 million. Colony took on paying the expenses for the upkeep of the property. The contract reads, membership interest means the ownership interest of a member in the company. The last line reads, the membership interest of Michael Jackson member is 87.5%, and the membership interest of Colony member is 12.5%. He believed his home had been violated. The police raided Neverland more than one time. They never found anything illegal or that proved any crime had ever taken place there. Jackson retained a business interest in the 2,700-acre property and the option to return, but he never did. Jackson gave his manager $5.5 million in cash to begin the purchase of this home in Las Vegas. He called it Wonderland.
Michael goes out on a ride aboard a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter. He is making a trip to Camp Zama to visit U.S. troops and their families.
Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you very much.
And then there was this dance salute. Reeling from a bevy of flashes, Michael still makes the round to shake as many hands as possible to the appreciation of his fans.
what our community needs to realize is that Michael Jackson could have made millions of dollars on Saturday, and he chose to come and spend it with the soldiers and family members and DOD civilians here at Camp Zama. There were events where people were paying anywhere from $500 to $3,500 just to sit down and see him in their presence. And he made and took a special day out just to spend it with the military.
You jump out? Well, that's what these are. I jump out and I rappel out.
You're kidding. Now, what's rappel?
On the rope, slide down the rope. Yeah.
You're not afraid?
I'm terrified.
Really?
So what do you think about this, the trip in the Army here?
Oh, it's a great experience. I was honored to be here today with everybody. Great. I appreciate the invitation.
Yeah, what about the Black House? What about the ride over?
Oh, it was first a little intimidating, but once we got up, I liked it very much. Very strong machine.
Great, great. Hold on there, Chris. Beautiful. On. Yeah, wait, come on, fuck it. Yeah, come on. Beautiful, more, come on. Almost at the end of the camera. Come on. Beautiful. More, man. More, this way. Come on. Beautiful. That's great. Oh, beautiful with your mouth, man. Open your mouth, okay, great. Oh, do that. Oh, gorgeous. Gorgeous. Hold it. Great, man. Good. Yeah, do that again. Oh, perfect. Do that again. Do it again. Oh, gorgeous. Oh, amazing. Oh. Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Good, thanks.
Did you get anything good?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
Front over there.
Watch it, guys.
Here.
Michael, what'd you get?
Oh, some nice things.
Yeah, go over there. Please, guys, please.
Shoes and shirts. Welcome back, Michael. Mikey, you making any new music?
Oh, yeah, constantly.
Yeah? What's it called?
Oh, what kind of title?
Watch, open the door, watch the door. Excuse me, guys. Watch out.
In 2006, while staying in Ireland, he gave Access Hollywood an interview during a studio session. In 2007, he did photo shoots for a couple of popular magazine publications. "2007 was a big year for the King of Pop. That year, Michael Jackson personally negotiated the purchase of the Lieber and Stoller music catalog. This catalog gave Jackson ownership of numerous classics, including Elvis Presley hits like Jailhouse Rock and Hound Dog. In a statement, Michael Jackson said, quote, "I am delighted that we were able to acquire the Lieber and Stoller catalog. The songs of Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller have defined an era, and the artists who have recorded their work reads like a who's who of rock and roll," unquote. In May 2007, Jackson's company purchased the famous music catalog. This catalog gave him ownership rights to songs by artists like Beck, Shakira, and the rapper Eminem's hits like The Real Slim Shady and Without Me. In a statement, Jackson said, quote, "This is a milestone event for Sony ATV Music Publishing. The diverse collection of songs in this catalog range from timeless classics to contemporary hits, and I am pleased to add the acquisition of famous music to Sony ATV." Unquote. In 2008, he released a remix CD celebrating the 25th anniversary of Thriller. Around the same time, he released the following statement to his fans, quote, "I am in the studio developing new and exciting projects that I look forward to sharing with my fans in concert soon," unquote. In March 2009, the singer announced plans for a tour titled This Is It. The reaction from around the world caused This Is It to break records due to an unprecedented demand for tickets. But the media pounced. Despite a successful comeback, the tour was mostly reported as proof that he was in need of money. But 2 years prior, he had addressed the same rumor when some journalists claimed that he was desperately seeking shows in Las Vegas.
Mr. Jackson has been presented numerous proposals which he has not solicited but were presented to him, several of which include performing in Las Vegas. Mr. Jackson is currently reviewing and evaluating each proposal. He does not believe that he's under any time constraint for making his decision. Spokesperson, March 1st, 2007.
That statement gives the singer's perspective, and it is consistent because Tom Mesereau basically relayed the same message from the 2005 trial. During cross-examination, Mesereau also suggested the accountant had not considered lucrative offers available to Jackson as an entertainer, including a $100 million offer to do a world tour in 2002.
The singer also talked to people around him about his motivations. Randy Phillips was the president of the entertainment promotion company AEG Live. In an interview with the Sunday Times from May 2009, Phillips said, quote, "When I asked him why he wanted to tour now, he said it was because his kids are old enough to appreciate it and he still felt young enough to do it. He's told me that whatever profit he makes from these shows will go into a trust fund for his children," unquote.
I asked him, "Mike, why now?" And he said something very kind of a peek into his soul. He said, "You know, my kids are old enough now to appreciate what I do, and I'm still young enough to do it."
You know, one thing that Michael wanted more than anything was to have his kids see him perform. They were
In June of 2009, the king of pop died. His death was officially ruled a homicide. The coroner, Dr. Christopher Rogers, concluded he had a strong heart, normal weight, and no medical condition that would have caused his death. Dr. Rogers said he was, quote, "healthier than the average person his age," unquote. Jackson was being improperly treated for insomnia.
The medical evidence led to his personal doctor, Conrad Murray, being charged and convicted of manslaughter.
Number one and growing, the worldwide leader in news, CNN.
Much has been made about the debt that Michael Jackson left behind, but there is some new news to report about his assets. The administrators of Michael Jackson's estate have filed court papers disclosing they have recovered $5.5 million in cash from one of Jackson's former financial advisors. They expect to present contracts to the court within the week that should add tens of millions of dollars to Jackson's estate, which they said is solvent and worth an estimated $500 million. That's according to the documents. The Los Angeles Sheriff is looking.
Before the trial began, Conrad Murray's defense team wanted to present testimony that Jackson was depressed because he was allegedly $500 million in debt. The judge denied this request. He said, allowing rumors about Jackson's mental state and finances would only sidetrack the trial. Judge Pastor ruled, quote, there was no evidence that Michael Jackson was concerned about the money, unquote.
I review the verdict form, which now I will pass to Mrs. Benson, the court clerk. Mrs. Benson will publish the verdict.
We, the jury in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Conrad Robert Murray, guilty of the crime.
And that publishing company now forms the cornerstone for his net worth.
And in terms of the Beatles' music, is that still part of Michael's estate?
Absolutely.
And in
Yes.
terms of the sheer number crunching here, could you tell me now what he paid for it and what it might now be worth?
Well, we bought the catalog in 1985. We spent $47.5 million, which is well known. We sold off a background music library, so his net investment was about $41 million. And while I can't give out confidential details, it's been reported that Sony ATV is worth upwards of $2 billion, and Michael owns half. And that publishing company now forms the cornerstone for his net worth. And while I can't give out confidential details, it's been reported that Sony ATV is worth upwards of $2 billion, and Michael owns half.
Wow. So he took it from 40-odd million to $1 billion.
Yes, and I would say in addition to Sony ATV, Michael has his own publishing company, which is called MyJack, which owns all of his own songs as well as many other songs we bought over the years. So when you add the two companies together, it's even more valuable.
In 2016, executors of the Michael Jackson estate agreed to sell his 50% stake in Sony ATV for $750 million. But the estate keeps a 10% stake in EMI Publishing, estimated to be worth $220 million. In addition, the estate keeps complete ownership of Jackson's own music publishing company, MyJack, estimated to be worth at least $100 million. The MyJack catalog controls rights to the hits Jackson wrote himself, like Billie Jean, Beat It, Black or White, and Heal the World. Let's calculate his net worth. Start by subtracting the alleged $500 million in liabilities. Michael Jackson left an estate worth $670 million. Our calculation is consistent with court documents which said more than $500 million. More than 100 of these stories have been reported. The objective is to skew Jackson's legacy by claiming he had only liabilities and debts and no net worth. A personal balance sheet calculates net worth by comparing assets, what you own, against liabilities, what you owe. If these articles told the other side of the story, they would include the amount in assets and show his true net worth and solvency. This headline gives his assets in the lowest estimate, but balance is shown. And here is another article from Billboard. Although the headline says $1 billion turnaround, it actually promotes a $1 billion lie because it is intentionally misleading. And here you see the misleading result. This is the Billboard article being reported by another website, and it states Billboard as its source. The headline reads, Michael Jackson's estate went from $500 million in debt to worth $500 million. Because Jackson always had a substantial net worth, these articles are false. Ian Drew is the editorial director for Billboard.
I think that the estate has done an excellent job at transforming his catalog and really cementing his legacy with it. Remember that he was in the red, he was broke, beyond broke when he died, and now he's very much a billion-dollar industry.
The media operates by copy and paste journalism. They basically follow each other by copying each other's stories. For example, a writer completely makes up a story about a celebrity. The next day, 11 different news and entertainment outlets pick up and report that story. So within 48 hours, you have a dozen different media outlets all reporting the same false story because they just follow each other. But rarely does anyone check to see what is actually true.
But the headline of this story is that Michael Jackson is making more money after his death than he ever did when he was alive. Tonight, you'll hear about the most remarkable financial and image resurrection in pop culture history. The Michael Jackson brand is alive and well. Well paid, that is. Extremely well paid.
In this 60 Minutes story by Lara Logan, who was later suspended for reporting false information, the point is to alter Jackson's legacy by reporting that he is more famous and making more money because he died. But that is not true. 2 albums have been released by his estate. Neither album reached #1 on the US charts. During his career, all of his albums featuring new material debuted at #1. Also, the first project released by the estate was the film This Is It. This Is It grossed about $260 million worldwide, but in 2013 it was revealed had he lived to take that tour around the world, he could have made $1 billion. In the months before he died, Michael Jackson proved he was still the biggest artist in the world. All 750,000 tickets for the shows at London's O2 Arena sold out in less than 5 hours. That was enough to sell out 31 shows, but there were enough registered buyers to sell out 100 shows. Jackson chose 50. 50 sold-out concerts at the O2 Arena, more than double the previous record held by the artist Prince.
And you know me, turn the O2 into the O3, dog. Without 40 Ollie, there be no me.
We're with Frank DeLeo, Michael Jackson's manager. You wanted to add something about the dates.
Well, just the fact that it came out to 50 was because he wanted to beat Prince's record of 21 and be in the Guinness World Book of Records. He wanted to do 50 to put it out of touch.
The contract specifies between 18 and 31 shows. The highest expectation was to break the record by 10. But it also demonstrates the uncertainty, because no one could have known exactly what the demand for tickets would be. The media had spent years trying to convince the public that Jackson was no longer popular. But within hours, there was not only enough demand to beat the record by 10 shows, there was enough demand to break the record 4 times over. Arthur Irk is a veteran music industry certified accountant. He has worked with artists like Britney Spears, the Notorious B.I.G., and Kiss. In 2013, he testified in a civil trial against concert promoters AEG. Irk took a look at the contract between Jackson and AEG. He then considered the astonishing ticket sales for the tour and the singer's future plans. Irk came to the conclusion that Michael Jackson was on pace to have a huge comeback and make $1 billion.
It was a friendship and partnership of 2 of the most famous entertainers on the planet. One that produced hits like Say, Say, Say and The Girl Is Mine.
These are pure pop lovers with some of the greatest senses of melody
And with both of them, with this strong sense of sort of show business tradition, there was a lot of common ground between them.
But the relationship between Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney soured in 1985 when Jackson outbid McCartney for the back catalog of the Beatles' own songs, paying $47.5 million for more than 200 songs, including classics like Yesterday and Let It Be.
For more than 2 decades, the media reported a false story. That alleged bidding war, or the act of Jackson taking something from McCartney, never actually happened.
Janet Holmes-a-Court remembers the deal her husband made. Robert Holmes-a-Court would sell the superstar a rare musical catalogue, including a Beatles collection. In return, Michael Jackson would fly to Perth for telethon.
Robert sold him the music catalogue that was in the company which we bought in the UK. It owned the Beatles music.
It was a tough deal negotiated by Holmes-a-Court's right-hand man, Bert Reuter.
And we had given Paul McCartney first right of refusal, but Paul didn't want it at that time, so Michael Jackson's people approached us and we negotiated with him, but the writing and breakpoint condition was that he had to come to telephone.
But Michael Jackson has the rights now to all the Beatles stuff. How much did it bother you when Revolution was used to sell Nike sneakers and things like that? Heaps.
Does
it break your heart that you don't have them, or?
No, not really. My kids are mad as hell.
I would think.
It would be great, yeah, for me to own Yesterday, let's say, because it came in a dream. I wrote
McCartney's anger was evident as recently as 2006 when he said, "You know what doesn't feel very good is going on tour and paying to sing all my songs. Every time I sing Hey Jude, I've got to pay someone."
The truth is, Paul McCartney owns music publishing too. He and Jackson made a lot of money by owning the rights to other artists' music. In 2009, both artists were worth over $500 million. But the dichotomy is, the media always praised McCartney's music publishing ownership and have often referred to him as a billionaire, while Jackson was portrayed as going broke, with many publicly rooting for him to lose everything. The following are just a few more examples. In 2001, Fox News. Jackson will lose the Beatles song catalog soon. 2002, Fox News. It's time for Michael Jackson to relinquish his half of the Beatles song catalog. 2005, Spin Magazine. Jacko may lose ownership of Beatles catalog. Also from that year, comments from a Beatles fan blog. He never should have bought that catalog in the first place. A fan named Steph said, "As a huge Beatles fan, this was the reason I have always hated Michael Jackson." In 2007, Fox News. Jacko will lose Beatles catalog in 2008. And 7 years after he died, a headline from Entertainment Tonight said, "Michael Jackson finally loses the Beatles music." This headline and hundreds of others clearly demonstrate what the financial rumors were really about. Court documents showed he left an estate worth more than $500 million. But for the last 14 years of his life, there was more negative focus on his financial status than any celebrity in history. The rumor that he would go broke and lose his music catalog never went away because the backlash towards his ownership never went away.
Michael Jackson!
ahead, take the picture there, remember you. Go ahead, take the picture there, remember you. Gotta put your heart in it, everything you do, and every step you take. Stay true. Focus with the lens, and it's on again. A marksman known as set sharp with the pen. A masterpiece in the work, the way the colors blend. Illuminate the stage, shine like a gem. Pack from the front row to the next show. Stacked in timeless glow. Shed light in a realm beyond. 2,000 watts couldn't break the bond. 100 proof, it's more than hype. Platinum, the most invincible type. Treacherous top biller, to the bone chiller. Nightfall, he's a thriller. Red leather fashion, vibe with the passion. Video monster mashing, media lights flashing. Legacy outlasting, hit the mark and still smashing. Go ahead, take the picture there, remember you. Go ahead, take the picture there, remember you. Gotta put your heart in it, everything you do, and every step you take. Stay true. Go ahead, take the picture there, remember you. Go ahead, take the picture there, remember you. Gotta put your heart in it, everything you do, and every step you take. Stay true. Born, original, far from norm. Through timeless art you live on. Labeled an outcast, the world is cold. Research the lies, let the truth unfold. Behold, a story never been told. In false accounts too often sold. Sculpt and mold, trying to brand your image. Media combat the lies they printed. The people can view with more than Fox News to chew. The mission is on and past due. A chip off the block, got 'em on lock. If greatness caused more than fans to flock. So great, it caused the most hate. Tabloids trying to eat off your plate. And they stayed on the attack, cause you bought the Beatles tracks, but gave Little Richard his back. Go ahead, take the picture there, remember you. Go ahead, take the picture there, remember you. Gotta put your heart in it, everything you do, and every step you take. Stay true. Go ahead, take the picture there, remember you. Go ahead, take the picture there, remember you. Gotta put your heart in it, everything you do, and every step you take. Stay true. Take the lead, plant the first seed. Let's feed hunger, not greed, and praise is due. But most of all, stay true, cause fake peeps ain't nothing new. Trying to pull you down and make dreams corrode, but real a vibe all across the globe. Earlobe gracing, from the basement to the best with no replacement. And they wanna ride with you, living life in high def, now take the picture. On a level never before seen, and now Billie Jean wanna wild out with the team. Go ahead, take the picture there, remember you. Go ahead, take the picture there, remember you. Gotta put your heart in it, everything you do, and every step you take. Stay true. Go ahead, take the picture there, remember you. Go ahead, take the picture there, remember you. Gotta put your heart in it, everything you do, and every step you take. Stay true. Whatever you do, stay true. Stay true, stay true, stay true, stay true.